Welcome back to King of the Hammer, part number 384,962. Today's issue, broken solenoid. The solenoid won't release, so the hitting plate is not going up. We've been here before, but we're here again, aren't we? Let me zoom out a little bit. See if I can get a little bit of a wider shot, but there's 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on the opposite side, and this whole assembly comes out. We're going to disconnect our wiring. We're also going to turn the game off so that we don't get zapped, because that's not fun. So we're going to take all 4 of these nuts off of the studs. This is just one. We're going to repeat this process 3 more times, and we don't need to get all that on camera. I don't know why I had that swivel in there. It was not helping. Alright, so all 4 of our nuts have been removed from the studs. We're going to go ahead and unplug our wire connectors here for our sensors and our solenoid. And then, I don't know if I can do this one-handed. That one I can. The other one I can. Ah, there we go. Now, the tricky part. Extraction. There you go. And we have one made up and ready to go. Because this is kind of a common occurrence, to say the least. When we put this in, we have to be careful not to damage our wires or our sensors. Alright, I'm going to need 2 hands to hold this thing up and put the nuts back on. Beginning retightening sequence. This is kind of boring. I'm going to cut it here, and you don't want to watch me just tighten studs, do you? Alright, everything's tightened back up. We're going to find our plugs and reconnect them. Again, easier said than done, doing this one-handed through looking at the phone. Yeah, I might need 2 hands for this. Yeah, I've decided I need 2 hands. Alright, plugs are back together. It actually functions now. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, let's power the game back up and test it out. This thing had 9 credits loaded on it. She works. We're just gonna run all these credits out. Boy, that took forever. This thing had like 20 credits loaded in it. But, so it's been cycled 20 times and it's working perfectly. So, I guess I'd rather over-test. Sorry, get that out of your eyes. But, let's go ahead and get our cover back on here. Get everything buttoned back up. Please and thank you. That is gonna do it for this one. We got one more game to look at. Well, it's a little echoey in here. I found the problem. The drive belt for the elevator belt, it's gone, and there's a pile of dust down there. So I think the belt got shredded. I don't know where the belt is. Probably in a garbage can or a landfill somewhere. So I don't know if it's salvageable. We will never know. But let me back out. We have this random piece of acrylic that was jammed up in the works right there. So it was binding up the elevator. I think I know where it goes. Ding, right there. Yeah. compound issue now. We have 2.5 keys down here and 3 locks on the sides, so we're gonna have to work some magic, but yeah, we gotta open the front door up and figure that business out. Definitely a can of worms. It's all loosey-goosey. Everything's kind of flippy-flopping around. Yeah, compound issue now. So we have some evidence down here too. It looks like our screws have backed out inadvertently, and now they live on the ground. Yeah, cool. So I found 3 screws down in the bottom, but we need 6. Well, I mean, we could probably get away with 4 if we had to. So I gotta find, if I can, 1 more of these guys. So let me go back to the workshop and see what I can scrounge up. This turned out to be a little bit more of a project than anticipated. But we have some new hardware. We're gonna put Humpty Dumpty back together. And then we have to go to our sister center. I don't have a belt, but they do. So they saved the day. Thanks, guys. Whew. Alright, Humpty Dumpty has been put back together. We're going to plug it in, get our perimeter screws back in, fire it up, make sure we've got everything wired right. I still have to go run out and grab the drive belt, but yeah, making progress, slowly but surely. Yeah, it's all back together. I got to tighten the perimeter screws on the bottom here and dust everything out too. But I wanted to take a minute to say thank you to Arcade Zombie. He just did one of these. He had a groove in his wheel. I'd never really messed with the centerpiece before, so watching his video taking this thing apart was a huge help. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Awesome. Good, good. They have a bunch. I'm just going to take 1. That's all I need. Just 1, and we'll order some for spare. Cool. Thanks, guys. There you go. That looks better. Cool. So we need to still check our switches, make sure we got our micro switches in the right place.
Mystery value.
Yep. We're good. We're good. It is the next day, and I wanted to take a closer look at this. Obviously, the solenoid plunger has pulled away from the latch. This is the only failure point that we have left, because what we've done over the years, with time and experience, the bracket that the solenoid mounts to a lot of times has broken, and so what we've done, I went ahead, I cut a gusset and I welded a gusset in here that reinforces that solenoid mount. We've also drilled the holes out to a larger diameter, and I tapped threads in the mount plate. We've used stainless hardware. We've got washers on both sides, lock washers, an extra jam nut to keep the screws from coming loose. We have made this as heavy duty as we can make. So the only failure point left, I mean, we put an Allen wrench through there because it's super hard steel. If we had gone with the original pins, we would just be shearing the pins all day long. So this now becomes our weakest link, and that's where we see all the failures. So just thought I'd share that. Good information. Maybe some ideas of how you can upgrade your equipment to make it a little more durable. We've also gone ahead and glued in hot glue right here on these wires, because a lot of times a common failure point is right here with all the vibration. The wires will break right there. This one doesn't have heat shrink on it, but a lot of times what I'll do is I'll heat shrink right through here and then glue this over the heat shrink. It just kind of adds a little more durability to it. But we don't have another solenoid right now. We've got one on order, But yeah, that's all I got for now.